So hello there. Today I'm going to be doing a video on servicing and cleaning and all that stuff on my Dyson dc44 animal. And if you're like me and you've had it at least a year, it's probably a good idea to give it a good service anyway, and a good clean. But in today's video I'm just going to show you how I clean it on a regular basis. Well, regular. I kind of forget half of the time. But it's not looking too bad. I did it recently. Well, a month ago, so. I have already emptied it, so that's step one, is empty it. So the easiest way to empty it is just to actually remove the whole canister. Now, what you will need is a dry scrubbing brush. Another viewer was very pleased to find out he had the same scrubbing brush as me. So privileged. So it's almost dry, it's slightly damp, but that's fine for what we need it for. Some regular multi-purpose spray. I don't shop much at Morrison's, I just went there for cheap cleaning products. A cloth, a bit of soapy water, I've got flash cleaner in there, and another small scrubbing brush you would be happy to scrub with, and a coin. I've got a 5p one. Preferably you want a bigger one, but a 5p piece works fine. So step one is to literally take your filter. No, this is step two. Take your filter and you have to wash it. Mine isn't too bad. That's the easiest way to do it, is to soak it in some warm soapy water. Dyson say you have to do it in plain cold water. Well, that's quite a bad idea, because it always smells most of the time. And I've just wet the scrubbing brush, I know, but that's fine. I can just dry it off in there. So that's the soaking. You might want to look down your crevice tool, and maybe, if it's like mine, it might be very dusty. Now, I don't have flash on today, but it's very dusty, so you can plonk it in there as well. And if your brush is dirty and has lost a lint strip like mine, still works fine, you can do what I just did and plonk it in some soapy water. Now, the tube, to be honest, there's not much that you can clean because it's quite hard to clean in there, so bye. So now I'm going to, something else you might need is another vacuum. Now if you've got something like this, you probably have another vacuum. So I'm just going to go grab another vacuum of choice and I'll be back in a second. Right, I have another vacuum cleaner of choice. If any of you can guess what it is by sound, tell me, you might get it right. So next, hopefully you've emptied your bin. You might want to, tricky with one hand, well that wasn't tricky, and split it open. Now if you've never done this before, get servicing, because you've got lots of dust. But I'm just going to actually just tilt that over so it ends up on the bottom of our bin. So you just, to split this down, you just press this red button, or press on this red catch, and then with a bit of wobbling around and jiggling later, you should have this. Now I have washed this before in very hot water. Well, not very hot, you can't do it very hot because you've got a seal in there, but warm-ish water with a bit of soapy detergent in it, and it cleaned up fine. But it took ages to dry, and I went on holiday while it dried. I know, just book a holiday while it dries. But anyway, you might have had a bit of dust fall out, so I'm just going to clear that away with my vacuum of choice. This is going to be hard. Let's just go in here and go. And now with our vacuum of choice, you're just going to generally vacuum up and down this bin like that. You could put a brush on the end if you wish, but just clearing up all the fluff, and then you can also stick it up there and suck some of the dust out. So I'll pause while I do that. Right, well we have vacuumed all of this up. It's very clean now. Well, not very, very clean. Now, do make sure you go round your seals very well as well. Oh, there's a bit of fluff poking out. Ooh. I also vacuumed this back panel here with a little brush. So next, what I'm going to do is going to take a cloth, preferably an old cloth, I just use microfiber cloths anyway, on all of my refurbs, and just fold it up till you're happy with it, and then take it, and as easy as it is, grab your all-purpose cleaner and just give it a few squirts, and then you're just going to wipe your cyclone down and get it all clean. The whole thing, just wipe as much as you can. So I'll pause while I do that, just because my camera would look a bit like this while I do it. So we're all clean. That's ready to go once it's dry. It won't be very wet. So now you just want to make sure your bin is empty and give that a little wipe down too, using the same process last time, same cleaner, same cloth preferably. Let's go. That's that cleaned as well, so I'm just going to leave that to dry there as well. Now, if you have a mini motorised tool because you have an animal model, these are really hard to get at. I've never had that open because it was so tight. So basically, boring as it is, just pick everything off and vacuum it up with another vacuum. Or this if you haven't washed the filter, but don't use a revolving brush because then it'll just get caught back again. I never really use this. I don't actually think I've cleaned it. I've cleaned it once, I think, in a year and a half-ish, because I never use it. Because we don't have carpeted stairs and I don't really use this in the car. But anyway, yeah, I'll clean that in my own time. You get the picture, hopefully. Just pick stuff off. So now, we move on to the main cleaner. There's not much you can do. See, it's got the max button. Again, I can't really see what I'm filming. I've had a text pop up. But anyway, hopefully your Dyson isn't dusty here. Mine is a little bit dusty. There's our motor. That's the exhaust. Air whooshing noise. And that's the battery. Not much you can do, because it shouldn't really be that dusty there. So, nothing to do to that. Wow, we're flying through the servicing already. So, now you're left with... so basically, this is where you need your 5p, or 20p if you're not a peasant. Well, I'm not a peasant. Oh, hard one-handed, isn't it? Try this. That's a new challenge. Do your Dyson dc44 service one-handed. Oh, right. So we just need to untwist it. There you go. Keep your money safe. Little words to live by. And now you've got this bearing end cap. Again, not much you can do unless you want to blob a tiny bit of oil in it, then go ahead. I don't see no issue in doing that, but it should be pretty clean. If it's got hair in it, just tweezers ideally and pick it out. So, I'm kind of going to have to push this out like this. Just kind of give it a pull to dislodge it from the motor, the brush blow motor spindle. Let's pause again. It's extremely hard one-handed. And here is all of my hair. Well, not all my hair. And then here is your brush roll housing and motor and everything. Again, you can wipe this bit in here down by just flipping it over and getting a cloth and going zip, 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 and you should be pretty clean. But now it's this brush roll you've got to worry about, and this is why you need a dry scrubbing brush. But anyway, so you can get scissors if you want to, or just something on your fingers and pick the hair off and fluff. Then once you've done that, picked as much of it off as you can be bothered to, I never get mine perfect, you take a dry or slightly damp scrubbing brush and you brush along to get this fluff in the hair out of the actual bristles. And then you can always vacuum it with a vacuum of your choice afterwards and vacuum up the hair as well. That would be a good idea. I wouldn't leave it on your floor if I was you. So I'm just going to do that just now. That'll take me a long time, I think. Me a long time, I think. So, see you in a moment. Well, that's our brush roll all cleaned. As much as you can be bothered to is how I would say. So, it's as much as I can be bothered to. It's quite clean there, and then you look here, there's still a few loose bits of hair, but look, they just pick right off because they're just caught on the bristle. There you are. So, now that that's done, we can reassemble this just by pushing it back in this way, giving it a little twist till it sits flush with the end. Then you put your end cap back on and twist it closed with your coins. So I'll just go do that. Remember how we started soaking those tools in that filter at the start of the video? Wow, 10 minutes ago. Well, here they are, bathing away to themselves. Oh, sorry, Mr. Crevstall, I don't want to disturb you too much. But you see, they're cleaning up fine. The Dyson Crevstall will need a bit of scrubbing because it'll be manky in there. As for the filter, that just soaks up fine. So remember how you needed a brush, ideally quite thin, like that, or a toothbrush, or like that. I'm going to scrub the insides of both tools as much as I can. So, be back in a moment. So now they have all been rinsed, tools and filter that is, and they are now sitting at my duck egg blue splashback, drying. A top tip from Hoover Master on getting your filter dry quicker is to drop it, and then get your towel, absorbent, because you should have had one down while you were doing the servicing, and basically press hard. And it absorbs a lot of moisture that wouldn't come out by wringing because it's just little droplets. Let's just find this quite a dry bit here. And then, once you've done that, squeezed it as much as you can. It'll feel pretty dry, but it won't be dry, so then you can leave it on a radiator for at least 12 hours. For this kind of filter anyway. If it's not dry after 12 hours, don't just put it back in because I said so. Well, dry it until it's dry. Then you'll be done. So I'm just going to put it on a radiator now. I shouldn't have to show you how to put a filter on a radiator though, should I? So I'm going to get my dc44 back in one piece for now. There won't be a filter in it for quite a while, so if yours is still drying, please notify all other members of your household that your Dyson filter's not inside the Dyson, so tell them to not use it. Because if your family's anything like mine, they just pull this out for whenever they spill anything. Dry, anyway. So I'll just put it back together, and I'll put it back on charge. So we're back on charge in my under the stair cupboard. That's quite a bad name for a cupboard, even though it is under the stairs. We call it the hallway cupboard. Now it's back on charge on its dock. There's no tools or filter, obviously, they're wet. So if you enjoyed this Dyson service video, please tell me, because that'll inspire me to make more, which is good news for me, keeps me busy, bad news for you, but oh well. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you later, and bye. Sorry for that creaking. There's a door opening. See ya.